Hello everybody, this is GamerGar. I played 100 minus 99 days of Stardew Valley. That is correct everybody, I played one whole day of Stardew Valley, but it isn't just any day, it is the first day, and this is going to utilize 100 day tactics. If you've watched any of my 100 day videos, you're probably wondering how I set up so strong to begin with, especially in spring. Watch this video in its entirety, it is chock full of tips and secrets that you can use right now to ensure that by the time you're finished your first 100 days, not only will you have millions of gold, but you will have a very powerful farm setup to ensure that when you get into year 2, you're going to be set up to make millions. The first thing I do when the day starts is get straight out of bed and collect the free parsnip seeds I'm given. The best thing to do with these is to plant them on the ground. Now even if you're doing a specific challenge, you can always eat them for energy and health, if you don't want to sell them. But it's a nice profit to make, especially at the start of the game. Once you have your parsnip seeds, what I do is I clear a path here, just in front of the house, to plant the parsnip seeds. But you should also clear, or try to clear, a pretty good path between the house and the north exit of your farm. This will come in really handy later, especially if it's really late at night and you're looking to get back to your house before you pass out. The last thing you want is a rock or a piece of wood or a tree in your way that will prevent you from getting into your house on time. So the first thing I need here is wood for the chest. The best thing to do is to cut down the trees that are blocking the passage to the north exit. So not only are you clearing yourself a path, but you're also getting wood and materials you need to make some essential stuff at the start of the game. Priority list number 1 for you at the moment should be a chest. All you need to make a chest is 50 pieces of wood. The reason why a chest is so handy at the very start of the day is because you can just dump all of your tools in it that you don't need, all of your items in it that you don't need, and you can then just go off on an adventure and you can pick up more items that you can use later on. So this is going to save you a ton of time. Day 1 is all about time saving. It's all about getting yourself set up so you can attack the future days for maximum gain. So I just made the chest there, and what I do with my first chest is I plant it right outside my house. Now it's very important that if you look at the very top of your screen, you can colour your chests. Now most people know this, some people don't. I'm going to colour this chest green, which indicates that I'm going to put outside materials and tools into this chest. That's what I associate green with when I'm doing my playthroughs or if I'm doing my challenges. Later on I'll have a blue chest for fish, I'll have a black chest for materials such as iron and copper, etc. And later on then I can even have a purple chest for skull cavern runs, etc. I'm then going to get my hoe out of the chest, my watering can, my parsnips and my mixed seed that I got from just getting the old weeds, and I'm going to plant those straight away. The reason why you want to plant those straight away and water those is because you don't want to have to come back later to do it, especially if you have very low energy. So prioritize the planting and watering at the start of the day and get that out of the way. Once you have all these parsnips watered, the next thing you have to tell yourself is if you're going the Joja Route or the Community Centre route. If you're going the Community Centre route, you should make your way to Pierre's and purchase the things you need to finish a pantry bundle as early as possible. So what you're looking for is a cauliflower, a potato and a green bean. Yeah, start with 500 gold so you have enough money to get the ball rolling on that. Now, it's only 10 past 9 at the moment in game, so I have enough time to make my way downwards and see what is inside Cindersap Forest before I go to Pierre's. So I'm going to try to make a little path downwards here for myself, but also preserve as much energy as possible. So if there's stones blocking my way, I'll just pick those open with the pickaxe. What I'm trying to do here is make a path which will go from my house down to the south exit to Cindersap Forest. So like I mentioned a few minutes ago, if it gets really late during the night and you're in Cindersap Forest, you'll have some sort of a path where you can quickly get from the south up to your house very quickly so you don't pass out. So it's also worth noting here too that if you really want to maximize each day, go into your options, go down here to the screenshot tool, take a screenshot, then click on open destination folder. That will basically give you an image of the entirety of this map, and it's really good for spotting if forest dwellers are in the map or if they aren't. So I'm just going to show you a quick picture here of the screenshot that I got. Now, you might not be able to see a whole lot there at the moment, but you can zoom in on that image yourself, and you will be able to see if there's forageables around or if there's anything interesting happening. So if you notice that there are forageables you can collect, you can then make your way and get those forageables. If there isn't any forageables around, well done, you've just saved yourself an absolute ton of time. So as we can see there, I have a couple of forageables I can get. I have a forageable just over to the left there, near the secret woods, so I'm probably just going to go there right now, pick those up. The reason why you want to prioritize forageables as early as possible is that it is a fantastic money maker at the start of the game, especially if you're going to utilize the ultimate Caroline strategy. Now, I call it the Caroline strategy because we all know Caroline gives the tea sapling recipe and you can sell those to make tons of money, but to make tea saplings you need tons and tons of wild seeds. To make tons of wild seeds you need forageables. Not only is picking up dandelion and other things very beneficial to you, it's also giving you foraging XP. Your next goal for day 1 should be to push your foraging to level 1. It's not that difficult to push it to level 1. As we can see here, we get some decent XP for picking up forageables on day 1. Even if you get really unlucky and you don't get a whole lot of forageables, you can still maximize this by cutting down trees and also by going to the beach, and you might be able to pick up a few things there as well to get forageable XP. So 9 times out of 10, if you try, you should be able to get foraging level 1 by day number 1. The reason why it's so important is because when you hit foraging level 1, you will be able to make spring wild seeds. Even the spring onions here are super important to get. I just got a few there. Sometimes you can get less, sometimes you can get a lot more. It all comes down to RNG. You also get some foraging XP for picking up those spring onions as well. Now, you've probably noticed by now that my map looks a little bit different to your map. That is because I have the Stardew Valley Expanded mod set up on this file at the moment. So your map will look a tad bit different to this, but not to worry, because I'm only showing the Stardew Valley main maps. I'm not really showing the expanded maps at all, just so that if you don't have expanded, you can still utilize this strategy. So as we can see here, once I finish with Cinesap Forest, I'm going straight down to the beach. I'm checking to see if I get an artifact. If I got an artifact there, I would have went straight to Gunther, given the artifact, and that would have done a quest completion for me, which would give me 250 gold. That would have been more money for Pierre, but I didn't get the artifact this time. But I'm still going to go over here, and I'm going to check the trash cans. So next up on your priority list is checking the trash cans. Even if people catch you, it doesn't matter, because you're on friendship level 0 with everyone. So you have absolutely nothing to lose on day 1 when you're searching through trash cans. You can get amazing things out of trash cans. Do not underestimate what these trash cans can give you. These trash cans can give you minerals such as diamonds. These trash cans can give you really potent recipes like the bean hot pot, for example, or other recipes which can increase your farming skill or foraging skill. After that, we're going straight into Pierre. Now, we're not going to sell him anything. We need all these things, but we are going to buy the things we need for the community center bundle. So we're going to get the cauliflower, we're going to get the bean, of course, the green bean, and we're going to get the potato. If your inventory is full, don't be afraid to just throw something on the ground. You can always come back and get it later, just so you can get those crops from Pierre. The reason why you want to get these crops on day 1 is that you can complete the pantry bundle before the 13th, which is the strawberry event, which means you can get yourself 20 speed grows before you get the strawberries. That means if you use speed grow on 20 strawberries, you will get 3 harvests on the strawberries instead of 2 harvests. And that is a magnificent money maker come the middle of spring for you. That's why it's important to get these things on day 1. So I'm just going to do another quick screenshot to see if there's anything worth getting up by the community center, because I will be swinging around here later and I'll be making my way down back into the Pelican Town itself. Here's a map that I'm going to show you of Pelican Town. As we can see from looking at the map, there are some daffodils just up north that I can get. Now my inventory is full at the moment, so I will swing back around and get those later. It is only just coming on 2 o'clock during the day, so I have loads of time to swing back around and get all that lovely stuff. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my farm with the newly acquired crops that I have got. I have a bit of energy there, which is good. I also have spring onions, which give me more energy, but I'm not going to eat the forageables for energy because I need those to make spring wild seeds. But spring onions are perfect to give me the energy I need to plant the rest of these crops today and to water them. So I got loads of parsnips, I got the green bean starter, and I also got the cauliflower. Now sometimes you can get lucky and you can get mixed seeds at the start that will give you a cauliflower, which is a great money saver, especially if you have the UI Info Suite mod number 2, that will actually tell you what the mixed seeds will give you. And if you are looking to get a mod like that, you can pull that one off GitHub. You actually can't get that on Nexus mods. So I'm just going to clear an area here right now. I'm just going to get rid of that log. I'm going to cut down this tree as well, because the tree actually blocks my, my field of view when it comes to watering the crops, especially if the patch is going to expand eastward, which it is. So I'm going to cut that down. I'm going to clear up all the resources around here, of course, and I will collect that stone and sap later on once I plant my crops. I also need to pay close attention on my energy. Now here is a great tip for you. If you hover over that energy bar, it will tell you how much energy you have left. And each swing of this hoe will drain, I think it's roughly around 2 energy. So, but you know yourself anyway after you swing the hoe and check your energy again. So it's a great way to kind of tell yourself how many swings of a tool you have before you get the exhaustion debuff. Now if you get an exhaustion debuff, you do take an energy penalty the next day. If you pass out before you get into bed, or if you go into bed too late, there is a chance you will take an energy penalty the next day. Early on, this can prove detrimental to your run and to the profits you could potentially make. However, if you get a skill up on that day, that will nullify any penalties you will get the next day. So I'm going to get a skill up in Foraging today, and I only have 10 gold. That means I should use the rest of my day maximizing profits, maximizing resource intake. So I can basically water, cut down trees, hoe until my character passes out. That will not affect me in any way, shape or form the next day. And that is what is so great about skill ups. And the great thing about Stardew Valley is that it is very easy to get level 1 in all of the skills that you have, which means that you can basically pass out for the first couple of days, no problem, as long as you've got a skill up in something. If we take day 2 for example, if you fished for the day, you could very easily get 1, maybe even 2. If you're really good at fishing, you could even get 3 level ups in fishing. So once I've planted those crops, I head north. I'm just going to swing up here by Robin's. Now, if you really want to crunch numbers, you could always take a screenshot of this. If you don't see forageables, you could just not go this route and go a different route. But we were coming up here anyway, because we want to go into this zone to see if there's forageables here. Now, because we have lots of time, if you wanted to, you could also talk to the NPCs, and, you could try to complete the introduction quest, because you get money for completing some of these quests. So I'm just swinging by Demetrius here and Robin. Now, I could have spoke to Linus as well, but for the purposes of this video, I just want to primarily cover basic tactics, some advanced tactics you can use, but more importantly, a good path you can take and that you can use for the first couple of days when you're playing the game to get the most out of it, to get a really good start. So that's the first daffodil I just picked up there. Now in terms of daffodils, daffodils are super important to you in spring. Not only do you need a daffodil to make the spring wild seeds, but you should also use them to gift to Caroline, who is Pierre's wife. Most of the time you can find Caroline inside Pierre's store. So, the reason why you want to give Caroline daffodils is because she likes those. And if you can push Caroline to 2 hearts within the first couple of weeks, she will give you a recipe called the tea sapling. If you can get your hands on that, if you mass produce that, trust me, you will have no problems for the rest of the year with money. You could just break the game with tea saplings. If you want to unlock this whole game by the end of summer, you could even do it by the end of spring if you really tried. If you really just grinded it out, just go to Joja Route, sell tea saplings, and unlock everything. You'll be in Ginger Island before you know it. You'll be in the desert within a couple of weeks, farming iridium ore in Skull Cavern with galaxy weapons coming out your ears. No problem at all. So what I'm doing here now is I'm now trying to clear a path which will go from the south right up to my house, so that when it gets dark I'm not passing out. So if I see rocks like this, to get rid of them. The scythe doesn't use up any energy. Use the scythe to maximum effect. So what's going to happen here now is that once I've done all this, I can spend the rest of the day just running around my farm collecting fibre, because it doesn't use up any energy, and I can do it until I pass out because I'm not going to take any penalties the next day. There's multiple reasons why you want to collect as much fiber as possible. The main reason being tea saplings. You need fiber to make tea saplings, and 9 times out of 10, what's going to stop you from making hundreds, if not thousands of tea saplings won't be the wild seeds, because they can multiply very easily. It's going to be fiber. You're going to run out of fiber all the time. Thankfully, your farm is chock full of fiber from day one. There's hundreds of fiber you can collect in your farm. Once you've gotten all the fiber in your farm, run around Cindersap Forest and get all of the fiber there. Now here's a pro tip for you. Fiber will actually spread and it'll multiply, but it'll only spread if there is a source it can spread from. So when you're running around your farm like this, when you're cutting up all your weeds, try to leave one weed here and there so it'll spread later on. Now I don't do that here, because I just want to prioritize general tactics. But for the more advanced players, if you're cutting out all these weeds, try to leave 1 or 2 every here and there so they'll start to multiply again for you. That way, within a few weeks, you can run around your farm again and get hundreds more fiber. So what I'm doing here now is, it's 9:40. If I wanted to, I could not get more fiber. I could run to town, I could talk to more people. But take my advice. On day 1, just run around, get as much fiber as possible. Clear all the resources on your farm as quickly as you can. Not only will this give you tons of stone, wood and fiber in the process, including sap and other goodies, and mixed seeds of course, which can be highly profitable, but you're also giving yourself space. And the more space you have, the easier your farm is to manage. The more space you have, the easier it is to get Robin to put down buildings, and especially the way you want to put them down. So you could even get a cooper if you wanted to with space. You can get a barnyard if you wanted. There's nothing stopping you from getting those things. If you can, also try to not get the grass on your farm. Just go with the fiber. Leave the grass alone, let it grow, stay out of its way. The reason why you want to do this is so that when you get animals later, you won't have to buy hay off Marnie. The animals will go outside, if you let them outside of course, which you should, and they will eat the grass. The only times you have to worry about this, if it's raining, they won't go outside, so you need hay for your animals. That's why, pro tip, if you're getting a coop or a barn, before you get those, get a silo. First, just cut a little bit of grass, put some hay in it, so if you get a rainy day, you're safe. Other than that, just leave the grass grow and you will benefit from it greatly. I promise you, it will save you thousands of gold later on in the game. So, because I'm using my scythe here and I'm not using up energy, I still have a small bit of energy left. Use that energy up. So what I'm doing here now is I'm taking out my pickaxe and I'm breaking open all this stone. I'm getting 1 XP for all this stone. If I get lucky and I break open the stone and it has coal inside it, I get 6 XP. That's really good at the start. Look at the bottom left of my screen. As you can see, I'm more than 50% of the way there to get level 1 in mining. And I'll be able to capitalize on that in a few days when I get level 1 mining eventually. That means I can pass out in comfort without getting an energy penalty the next day. Don't be afraid to keep going even if you get exhausted. Your character is good for a few swings even with the exhaustion debuff. So don't be afraid, just pass out in style and be proud of the hard work you did on day 1. If you feel like you've done a real crappy day 1, don't be afraid to just reset the game and do another day 1 all over again. I do it all the time, especially my 100-day playthroughs. Now I'm just going to show you a little bit of day number 2. This video is primarily about how to maximize day 1. But when you start day 2, try to do a familiar routine. I've got some mixed seeds here. The reason why I didn't plant those on day 1 is because I just didn't have the energy for it. But I can plant them on day 2 no problem. I'll make a profit from those within a couple of days. If I can get some extra cauliflowers, excellent. That's more profit for me. The reason why you want to plant as much crops as possible on day 1 and day 2 is because of the farming XP you're going to get back. Try to push your farming level up to level 6 so you can make quality sprinklers. The sooner you can automate watering, the sooner you're going to make some serious profits. So for those of you who have been paying attention, you've probably noticed that on day 1 I didn't go back to the bus stop area to get those forageables. Reason being, I didn't need to. Those forageables won't disappear. I have until Saturday to collect those forageables before the reset happens on Sunday. So don't worry too much if you've forgotten areas with forageables held inside them. Just make sure you get them the next day. More importantly, make sure you grab them before Sunday hits, before the big reset comes along, and all the maps will reset their items. So that is your ultimate day 1 guide. If you have any tips or tactics that you use on day 1 that you find are a bit better than mine, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you. Let's learn and master this game together. I will upload the next Stardew Valley video in the next few days as per usual, so stay tuned for that. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do me a favour, hit that subscribe button. It is free to do so. Not only that, but you will get a lovely notification when new Stardew Valley content and cozy game content is released onto the channel. Let's see if we can get 5,000 subscribers before the end of the year. We also have some big projects that are coming out in the next few weeks. They have taken a lot longer than anticipated, but that's because a lot more effects and graphical alterations have been put into those videos. I hope you enjoy them when they come out. They will definitely be worth the wait for you. So I hope you have a great week, and if you're looking to binge Stardew Valley content, just check out my playlists. I have a 100-day playlist. I also have a Let's Play playlist. If you're just looking to sit down, relax, if you need something to help you get to sleep, check them out. They're very cozy and they're very comfy.